Good evening. The federal court has partially overturned a 2014 fatwa against Sisters in Islam, ruling that only people, not companies, can be declared deviant. Meanwhile, Religious Affairs Minister Mossad stated that the decision will be thoroughly reviewed. In other news, UMNO's Puan Zarkashi has proposed that several prominent leaders come together to form a new party. Stick around to find out who they are. The federal court has ruled that the Selangor religious authorities were wrong to issue a fatwa declaring the Sisters in Islam organization as deviant and contrary to Islamic teachings. In a 3-1 majority decision, a 4-member bench chaired by Chief Justice Tengku Maimun Tuan Mat allowed the women's rights groups appeal to set aside the appellate court and High Court's decisions on a 2014 fatwa. The court said the federal constitution only gives power to the authorities over persons professing the religion of Islam, not companies. Tengku Maimun said the bench found that the term persons professing the religion of Islam that is applied in item 1 can only refer to natural persons and not artificial legal entities like a company. However, part of the fatwa was upheld, with the court ruling it was within the Selangor religious authorities' purview to issue the fatwa declaring any individual who subscribed to liberalism and religious pluralism as deviant and contrary to Islamic teachings. In July 2014, the Selangor Islamic Religious Council issued a fatwa declaring SIS had deviated from Islamic teaching, allegedly subscribing to liberalism and religious pluralism, leading to SIS filing for a judicial review. The High Court dismissed SIS's leave application in 2016, citing jurisdictional issues. However, the Court of Appeal overturned the decision in March 2017 and allowed the hearing to proceed. Meanwhile, Sisters in Islam expressed gratitude and relief after the federal court allowed its appeal to challenge the Selangor Islamic Religious Council fatwa, declaring it as deviant. Speaking to reporters immediately after today's court decision, SIS Executive Director Rozana Isa said the ruling proves they have a legitimate right under the federal constitution to voice their views and champion Muslim women's rights in Malaysia. She said, "For nearly 11 years we have gone through this process to seek justice, and finally we have received confirmation that our organization has rights protected by the federal constitution to continue speaking out." She added that following the court decision, SIS is also committed to continuing the struggle it began nearly 4 decades ago to ensure that women's voices continue to have a place in the country's religious and social discourse. In a statement earlier, Sisters in Islam has reiterated that it was never an attack on Islam or its authorities, but a principled legal challenge to a process that lacked transparency, natural justice, and fairness. SIS described it as not just a victory for their organization, but also for Malaysians who believe in due process, democratic oversight, and the inclusive spirit of Islam. It said the court's recognition that fatwas can and must be subjected to legal scrutiny ensures that no institution is above the law, and that Malaysians, regardless of belief, have recourse when their rights are infringed. It added that the court's verdict would also ensure religious authorities remain accountable to constitutional values and not wield their powers unchecked. Still on the topic, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Mossad, said the government will be thoroughly reviewing the federal court's ruling. He stressed that this review is crucial to ensure long-term stability for Malaysia's fatwa institutions. In a statement, Naim said that fatwas continue to play a vital role in guiding Muslims on current issues which require Sharia-based direction. Therefore, he added that close cooperation between the judiciary, legislative institutions, and religious authorities is crucial to ensure that the role and credibility of the fatwa institution remain respected within the framework of our nation's constitutional system. He also said that as the minister, he respects the principle of the rule of law and the judicial decision rendered by the Apex Court as the highest judicial institution in the nation's legal system. He added that the Madani government will ensure Islamic affairs are managed fairly through consultation, knowledge, and grounded in law. At the same time, the government also remains committed to upholding Islamic institutions in line with Article 3 of the Federal Constitution, which states that Islam is the religion of the Federation. Earlier today, the federal court had allowed the women's rights groups appeal to set aside the appellate court and High Court's decisions on a 2014 fatwa. In welcoming the verdict, SIS described it as a victory, not just for their organization but also for Malaysians who believe in due process, democratic oversight, and the inclusive spirit of Islam. The MACC is set to charge the whistleblower in the Sabah mining licenses scandal at the end of the month. According to reports, this is after investigations allegedly found his active involvement in corrupt transactions. MACC Chief Commissioner Azam Baki was reported by Utusan Malaysia as saying that the whistleblower, who only goes by Albert, will be charged in Kota Kinabalu on June 30th. He added that the directive to charge him follows investigations which found he was actively involved in corrupt transactions. Yesterday, Albert's lawyer, Mahajot Singh, had said that the move to charge his client, who exposed the Sabah corruption scandal, was shocking and disappointing. He stressed that the entire Sabah corruption scandal would not have even been investigated by MACC without his client. Mahajot said his client's disclosures, at serious personal risk, have greatly benefited the public interest. Meanwhile, MACC's Legal and Prosecution Senior Director Wan Shaharuddin Wanladin reportedly confirmed that the individual set to be charged is not protected under the Whistleblower Protection Act 2010. According to Bernama, he said Section 11(1) of the Act clearly states that anyone involved in the offense they report is not eligible for protection. Wan Shaharuddin also stressed that a key requirement under Section 11(1) is that the whistleblower must not be complicit in the wrongdoing being reported. He said this is to preserve the integrity of the whistleblower framework and prevent it from being misused as a shield by those trying to escape accountability. Can you imagine if Rafizi Ramli, Kari Jamaluddin, Nik Nazmi, Nik Ahmad, Shahril Hamdan, Akmal Nasir, Syed Sadiq Syed Abdul Rahman, Wan Saiful Wanjan, and Larry Sung joined forces to form a new party? This idea was brought up by UMNO Supreme Council member Bod Zarkashi today. Bod said it would be nice if they came together to form a new party. He said in football, when star players come together, the team turns formidable and becomes champions for years. He added that they would automatically have 7 to 10 members of parliament, which is a solid bargaining power when no single party holds the majority in Malaysia. However, Puat wondered if they could work together as a unit given their prominent backgrounds and their strong and differing views on issues. He also wished good luck in trying to make the country's democracy more diverse. On May 28th, Rafizi and Nik Nazmi quit as ministers after being defeated at the PKR post for the deputy presidency and a vice presidency post, respectively. While they quit their cabinet positions, the duo remained PKR members. Syed Sadiq, the Muar MP, is still a member of MUDA, while Sung, the Julao MP, serves as Parti Bangsa Malaysia's president. The lawyer representing Yusoff Rawther has accused PKR Youth members of hiding behind NGOs in filing a police report against Yusoff Rawther. The NGOs had lodged a police report accusing Yusoff of having links to the Israeli intelligence agency, Mossad. Yusoff's lawyer, Rafiq Rashid Ali, pointed out that Zul Hilmi Zainul, who led the group under the banner of Nadi Gamilang Amal, is in fact a PKR Youth EXCO member. He told Malaysia Kini that it is hoped that PKR Youth members, masquerading as NGOs, would stop playing politics and that the public is fed up. Rafiq questioned the motives behind dredging up a 2017 statement allegedly made by Yusoff expressing support for Israel and rejecting Arab claims over Baitul Maqdis or Jerusalem. He added that if Yusoff really had Mossad links, why did Anwar Ibrahim hire him in 2018? He also acknowledged anyone can lodge a police report, but urged authorities to investigate Yusoff's own report from September 2024, which named Anwar and his former aide Farhash Wafa Salvador Rizal Mubarak. In that report, Yusoff denied any involvement in drug or imitation firearm offenses, for which he was later charged and claimed he was entrapped. Rafiq added that they should stop diverting attention or creating narratives, and what matters is who had planted drugs and a gun in Yusoff's car. The police report filed against Yusoff yesterday was based on his purported 2017 pro-Israel remarks, which the group claimed were still accessible on an international Israeli news portal and contradicted Malaysia's foreign policy stance. If you like the stories we produce, consider supporting us by subscribing to Malaysia Kini. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe. US President Donald Trump has not made up his mind about the US joining Israel in strikes against Iran. According to reports, Trump told reporters on Wednesday that he had ideas on possible steps but preferred to decide 1 second before it's due. He said this is because things change, especially with war. It can go from one extreme to the other. Al Jazeera quoted Trump as saying that he didn't want to fight either and is not looking to fight. But if it's a situation between fighting and them having a nuclear weapon, you have to do what you have to do. He added that maybe there won't be a need to fight. Tensions between Iran and Israel have escalated since June 13th, when Israel attacked several military and nuclear sites in Iran. In response, Iran launched ballistic missile attacks on Israel. Earlier today, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim had strongly condemned the Israeli airstrikes on Iranian territory, describing them as punitive and unprovoked acts that violate international law and undermine diplomatic efforts. According to Bernama, Anwar said the Israeli attacks were clearly intended to derail ongoing talks and shatter hopes for a peaceful resolution in the region. Former Law Minister Zaid Ibrahim recently said that PAS could bring Malaysia to greater heights if it combines its moral clarity with good governance and inclusivity. He cited Iran and said that history has shown us that clerical leadership can steer nations through immense adversity. Yesterday, we posted a poll to see what the public thought about these remarks. Let's take a look at the results. The majority of voters at 51% believed that PAS's ability to govern the country was questionable. 34% thought that PAS has the potential to govern the country effectively. Meanwhile, 13% of voters said that PAS needs to prove their ability to lead before governing Malaysia. Several voters questioned how PAS will be able to lead the country when the states they lead are still not well managed and highlighted issues faced by them. What are your thoughts on this? Share your views in the comment section below. That is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.